Yeah, I've seen startups like this have the perfect everything perfect, the perfect team, perfect everything, raise money, and they still fail, right? Everything back lined up perfectly, and they still fail, right? So there's really no rhyme or reason, right?
Well, like everything in life, you also need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, luck plays a lot big part, luck, timing, all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So next, let's switch up real fast. So your career began in banking in London, right? Can
Yes,
you talk about that?
so my first job was corporate banking in London. Also a little bit of commercial banking. Then I did graduate school here at the University of Washington. After that, I worked in private equity. After private equity, I moved to Microsoft as a finance manager for U.S. enterprise services. After that, I moved into venture capital in the realm of blockchain. And after that, I was foolish enough to start my own firm.
So how did you? Because you got a scholarship, full ride scholarship to University of Washington. Like, did they recruit you from London? Like, how did that work? Like, I mean, that's kind of random coming from London all the way to Seattle.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the yeah. So the my story really what happened is I finished my undergrad at UCLA with a scholarship too. So my last year was done at UCLA. Even though most of my undergrad was done in Barcelona. And then I really, really enjoyed being in the US. But my first job was in London. London was a great experience from a professional standpoint, a culture standpoint, and many other things. But I really didn't want to keep doing that job. And I, quite frankly, wanted to come back to the US. So I thought if I got a scholarship once, maybe I can get it twice. And I applied to a bunch of scholarships, and I got one that was a full scholarship that would cover my studies anywhere in the world with a full scholarship and a tiny, tiny little stipend to be able to survive every month. And I chose the University of Washington because of the program, really.
So how long did you live in London?
1 year. And quite frankly, I don't think I could have made it more and keep my mental health.
No.
It's a city built for the 1%.
Okay. All right. What are some things you liked about living there and didn't like?
The culture, the architecture, the sophistication, the lifestyle is pretty good. But then again, it's a city that, in my opinion, it's built for the 1%. So if you're familiar with London, it's subdivided into six different areas. So think about it like an onion. The area one is the core of downtown London, and then as you expand, is area two, area three, area four. So back then, and we're talking 2008, right? Sorry, 2010. So back in 2010, just to be able to have basic transportation tickets, it would cost me about £100 per month just to be able to use transportation, right? Um, so it was very hard to afford. Also, I lived in a shoebox, like complete shoebox, while I was there, and the rent was completely astronomical. Like my rent for a shoebox back in 2010 was probably double or close to double my rent for a one bedroom in Seattle when I came here.
And that's a good point. Like a lot of people, like people in Seattle complain how high it is here everywhere, but it's all like perspective, right? Like I know people, if you come here for like we'll say Mississippi, rent's high, but if you come for like from Tokyo or like Hong Kong or London, rent's here like or California, rent's here like cheap. So it's always perspective, I think.
Yeah, for sure. However, the rents in Seattle have been increasing a ton. So, whereas maybe 10 years ago, we used to be much cheaper than some of the cities that I've mentioned, like Tokyo, London, etc. Nowadays, we're not much cheaper if we are still cheaper, right? Because I would argue that certainly certain places in Seattle, the rent is much higher than most places in Tokyo.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And so, are you originally from Spain?
Yes, from Barcelona.
Um, so tell me something about Barcelona, Spain that U.S. more Americans knew about.
Um, it's like they designed that part of the world with only one goal in mind, which was quality of life. and they disregarded everything else. So I would not recommend it as a place for business or professional career growth. But if you want to have quality of lifestyle and an amazing vacation, it's just great. The architecture is great. The things to do are great. Food is amazing.
And do they still do bullfighting there? Oh,
Bullfighting
yeah.
got banned in Barcelona.
Oh, did it? Okay.
It got banned. An easy way to do it is like you take the half of the country, you draw a line, and everyone north of the line is banned bullfighting. But everything below the line, so center and south, is still allowed.
Okay. And how often do you go back to visit?
I try to go at least once a year, and if I can, twice a year.
Okay. Nice. So how long have you been in Seattle?
14 years.
And this is like your home now, pretty much?
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, when it's nice here, it's nice. So next question. What in the world is a Master of Science in Real Estate Investments and Development? It's like, is that like basket weaving or something? Like, what is that, right?
Yeah, so it's basically, to put it simple, buying big buildings and managing portfolios. So you're looking at, big buildings such as office buildings, huge residential, like huge apartment complexes, and then the aggregation of those, which is what constitutes the portfolios.
Okay. And the next, like, explain the concept of money, right? 'Cause I don't think people realize the concept of money, right? Like, some people think, I get paid $200,000 a year, that's a lot of money, right? But in reality, it's not right. Like, on your buyer said that following your graduate studies, you oversaw $425 million of a $200 billion private equity fund. I mean, a lot of people think $2 billion is a lot of money, but in reality, it's not really that much money, is it?
Well, it's all proportional,
Yeah.
right? If you, I mean, $2 billion for an individual is a ton. $2 billion for a real estate fund, it's probably not that much, right? Because then you divide that times the number of properties that you can invest in at a certain size, and if your mandate is to buy properties that are 100 million or above, that maximum you can only afford 10 properties with $1 billion fund, right?
And do you still do anything with real estate? Or that's like your past life?
I a couple of things on the personal side. On the business side, mostly is through our telecom company, Cellnet, and that is helping big real estate portfolios with their utilities, in particularly electricity, so how to optimize their electricity bills, the water bills, and most importantly, get additional NOI via things like bulk internet.
So next, you spent some time at a blockchain VC firm.
Yes.
So at first, I didn't know there was any VC firms. It only invests in blockchain. So how did that come about?
That was during the market height of 2018. So the market was very much in the favor of all of the things blockchain. Blockchain was starting to get into mainstream. I think it's a fascinating technology, and a technology that together with artificial intelligence, quantum, and some IoT and some other ones has incredible synergies to be the backbone of that infrastructure of the future. And so I was one of the first people to gain exposure into some things that Microsoft was trying to do in blockchain back then. And I started learning more about blockchain, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, etc. It became my passion at the time, and I really, really wanted full exposure to that.
So you always hear like the blockchain is not hackable, right? Is that really true? Because it's like everything's hackable, right? How is blockchain not hackable?
Well, one thing is the technology itself, and the other one is the application, right? So, I mean, Cody, who also attended your podcast, is probably orders of magnitude better to talk about that than me. But blockchain, the degree of encryption that it typically has is military grade. So it would require military grade capabilities or beyond to be able to, attack that level of cryptography.